My name is Lori Montgomery, and I'm 25 years old. 3 months ago, I collapsed at a school potluck. A severe allergic reaction. The paramedics said I lost my pulse in the ambulance. The ER called my emergency contacts, my parents, at 1:43 p.m. The doctor told them I might not make it through the night. They never came. Instead, they left a voicemail at 2:15 p.m. We saw the hospital called. Brandon's game is at 4. We'll come tomorrow if you're still there. I spent 7 days in the ICU. A week later, when I was finally discharged, they showed up at the hospital. My room was empty, just one note taped to the bed. When they read it, their faces drained of color. They didn't know that once I was stable, I spent those days thinking, remembering, and searching. What I found changed everything. I should probably back up. Growing up, I always told myself it was normal. Older kids are supposed to be independent, right? That's what Mom and Dad always said. Lori's fine on her own. I was fine on my own. I had to be. The last time I went home, this was December, 6 months before everything happened, I stood in the living room looking at the photo wall, actually counting the frames for the first time. 64 pictures of Brandon, newborn to age 16, every baseball tournament, every championship, every smile. 3 pictures of me, ages 4, 7, and 9. Nothing after that. I asked Mom about it once, casual, like it didn't matter. Why are there only 3 pictures of me up here? She didn't even look up from her phone. Oh, sweetie, you know you were never one for photos. Brandon's always been more photogenic. I nodded, smiled, said okay. But later, when I went down to the basement looking for my old winter coat, I found them. 6 photo albums, hundreds of pictures, science fairs, student teaching presentations, college graduation in my cap and gown. They just never made it to the wall. I closed the albums, put them back, went upstairs and acted like nothing was wrong. Because that's what I always did. Made myself small, made myself easy, made myself fine on my own. I was 16 when I got my first real job. Riverside Diner, $11.50 an hour plus tips. I remember being so excited to tell Dad. I thought maybe he'd be proud. A job? He looked up from his laptop. Well, I suppose that's good. Brandon needs us to focus on his training schedule. You're smart, Lori. You'll figure things out on your own. Mom opened a bank account that week. She called it the Montgomery Family Education Fund. You should contribute, she said. It'll be for both of you. College, graduate school, your future. For both of us. I believed her. My first paycheck was $732 after taxes. I deposited all of it. I kept doing that for 9 years. Brandon started elite baseball when he was 8. Pacific Northwest Elite Academy. Very selective, very expensive. $18,500 a year. Mom and Dad drove 6 hours round trip every weekend for his tournaments. 38 weekends a year, hotel rooms, gas, meals. At Christmas dinner in 2019, Mom announced it to the whole extended family. Beaming. We're so blessed. Brandon got accepted to the Showcase League. We're investing everything in his future. Everything. I didn't know she meant it literally. May 2023. I was finishing my student teaching certification. Final presentation in front of the evaluation panel. The moment I'd been working toward for 4 years. Mom and Dad promised they'd come. I called that morning just to confirm. You're still coming to my presentation at 2 p.m., right? Dad's voice was distracted. Oh, Lori, I just checked the calendar. That's the same day as Brandon's playoff game. We can't miss that. Scouts are coming. You understand, right? You're going to do great. You always do. He didn't pause, didn't offer to split up, one parent to each event, didn't apologize, just, you understand, right? I said yes, because that's what I always said. I presented to 43 people that day, other student teachers and their families. my evaluation panel, my mentor teacher, zero Montgomerys. A month before the incident, I turned 25, March 23rd. I checked the family Google Calendar that morning, the one we all supposedly shared. Brandon's games were color-coded red, 67 entries from January to May. Practices, tournaments, recruitment visits. My birthday wasn't on there, but their anniversary was, June 12th. Dinner at Clyde's, 7 p.m. Brandon's dentist appointment was on there, April 3rd. My birthday wasn't. I texted Mom. Dinner tonight? She replied 4 hours later. Oh, honey. Is that today? We have Brandon's practice meet. Rain check? Rain check. On my birthday. I stopped posting in the family group chat after that. Not because I was mad, but because I finally understood. They weren't ignoring me. They just didn't see me. I was already invisible. May 14th, 2025. It was the end of year teacher potluck. We always did this. Everyone brings something. We celebrate making it through another year with third graders. I was excited. Sarah Davis brought these amazing spring rolls her neighbor made. Try these, she said. Cindy made them. They're incredible. I took a bite. They were good. Really good. 30 seconds later, my throat started closing. I tried to say shrimp. I'm severely allergic. But nothing came out. Sarah's face went white. Lori? Lori, your face is swelling. Where's your EpiPen? Someone was screaming for 911. I remember reaching for my purse. Thinking clearly, stupidly, I need to call my mom. Then everything went dark. Later, I read the paramedic report. I made them give me copies of everything. Patient experienced cardiac arrest en route. Pulse lost at 12:19 p.m. CPR initiated. Pulse restored at 12:21 p.m. I was gone for 2 minutes. I have fragments of memory. The siren. Someone saying, "Stay with us, Lori." Pressure on my chest. Then nothing. We arrived at Sacred Heart Medical Center at 12:34 p.m. At 1:43 p.m., Dr. Rachel Chen called my emergency contacts. My parents. The call lasted 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I know because I requested the phone logs later. Dr. Chen told them I was in critical condition, anaphylactic shock, cardiac arrest. I might not make it through the night. They listened. They stayed on the line for 3 minutes. That meant they heard everything. And then they made a choice. 32 minutes later, my phone buzzed with a voicemail. I was unconscious. I didn't hear it until the next day. But when I finally listened to it, I listened 11 times. I needed to be sure I heard it right. Dad's voice. Lori, we saw the hospital called about your situation. We're on our way to Brandon's regional finals. It starts at 4, and there are scouts from 3 colleges. This is a really big opportunity for him. We'll come by tomorrow morning if you're still there. Just hang in there, kiddo. You're tough. You'll be fine. If you're still there. Like I was a restaurant reservation. Like dying was something I could reschedule to fit their calendar. I can still hear the background noise, the car engine. Mom's voice faint in the background. Is she okay? Dad, she'll be fine. At 4 p.m., the first pitch was thrown at Riverfront Stadium. Northwest Regional Finals. Brandon pitched 6 innings. The team won 8-3. Mom posted on Instagram at 6:47 p.m. 3 photos. Brandon on the mound, the team celebrating, Mom and Dad with their arms around Brandon. Caption, our champion, so proud of our boy. Northwest Regional Champs, #BaseballMom, #ProudParents, #Regional Champions, 94 likes, 23 comments. While they were celebrating in Section 104, I was coding for the second time. While Mom was choosing the perfect filter, Dr. Chen was shocking my heart back into rhythm. While Dad was high-fiving other parents over pizza, I was alone in room 408, dying. And they knew. I woke up around 9:20 p.m., fully conscious for the first time. A nurse was checking my vitals. Jessica. I remember her name. You're awake, she said. Good. How are you feeling? My throat was raw. My family? Are they here? She paused, just for a second, but I caught it. Let me check the visitor log. She tapped her tablet. Her face did something. Careful. No one's checked in yet. Should I try calling them again? I looked at the clock on the wall. 9:56 p.m. Brandon's game had ended 3 hours ago. The stadium was 35 minutes from the hospital. No, I said. Don't call them. Because I already knew. If they weren't here by now, they were never coming. The next morning I woke up at 6:30 a.m. day 1. Jessica came in to check on me. Good morning, Lori. You gave us quite a scare. How are you feeling? Tired. I paused. Did anyone come overnight? Her expression went soft. Pitying. No, honey. No visitors logged. Would you like me to try calling? I told her no. And then I did something I'd never done before. I asked her for my phone. Not to call them, but to start documenting. Something had shifted in me overnight. Maybe it was the dying part. Or maybe it was finally understanding. I'd been on my own my whole life. I'd just been too afraid to admit it. Day 2. May 16th. Principal Angela Hartley walked into my room at 11 a.m. She was carrying my laptop, a phone charger, a change of clothes, flowers from the staff at Riverside Elementary. Lori, she sat down in the visitor chair, the chair that should have held my mother. I've been trying to call your parents since yesterday afternoon, 3 times this morning alone. They're not picking up. What's going on? They had somewhere to be. She stared at me. More important than their daughter nearly dying? I didn't answer. She held my hand. She cried. And I realized my principal cared more about whether I lived or died than my own parents did. Before she left, I asked her, "Can I borrow your laptop charger? I need to check something." Day 3, May 17th. I called the hospital's medical records department. I'd like to request copies of my visitation logs, phone contact attempts, and physician notes for my current admission. The clerk sounded surprised. You're entitled to those. We can have them ready in 24 to 48 hours. Thank you, she hesitated. Is everything okay? I almost laughed. Nothing was okay. But I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly how not okay it was. I just needed proof first. Later that afternoon, someone from billing came to my room. Her name was Karen. We've tried reaching your emergency contacts multiple times about financial responsibility. They told us you're an adult and should handle your own medical expenses. Do you have insurance? I had insurance through the teachers' union, but the bill was still going to be massive. Yes, I'll sign whatever you need. Karen looked uncomfortable. They said that? While you were in ICU? I nodded. She muttered something I couldn't quite hear as she left. Later, a nurse told me what Karen said. 20 years in medical billing, I've never seen parents refuse to come when their kid is dying. I had. Day 5, May 18th. I was checking my banking app, something to do while I waited for my body to remember how to function normally. I saw a charge I didn't recognize, $380, May 14th, 7:23 p.m., Riverfront Inn. I called the bank's fraud department. I see a charge from May 14th I didn't make. Can you tell me who used my card? It's on your authorized user, Scott Montgomery. Was this not authorized? I sat there for a long moment. Scott Montgomery. My father. I'd added my parents to my emergency credit card when I was 22, just in case I ever needed help. No, I finally said. It was exactly what I expected. I looked up the Riverfront Inn, 4/10 of a mile from the stadium. They used my emergency credit card to book a hotel near Brandon's game. The emergency card I gave them in case I ever needed help. I was in ICU with a $67,000 hospital bill, and they were charging room service to my credit card so they could stay close to a baseball game. I took a screenshot, added it to the folder I was building. The folder was getting thick. Day 6, May 19th. I spent 6 hours on my laptop, downloading, organizing, Documenting. Chase banking app, 9 years of statements. Google Calendar screenshots. Family group text export. My parents' shared email account. The password was still Brandon2008. I searched for Brandon. 473 results. I created a folder on my desktop. May 2025. A nurse came in to check my vitals. She saw my laptop screen, spreadsheets, bank statements, dates, numbers. You're working? You should be resting. I looked up at her. This is resting, trust me. By the end of the day, I had 51 pages of evidence. Day 7, May 21st. My phone buzzed at 9:15 a.m. Dad, the hospital called. They're discharging you today. What time should we pick you up? I stared at that text for a full minute. 7 days, 168 hours, not a single visit. And now they wanted to pick me up? I typed back. Don't. I already called a lift. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Dad, don't be ridiculous. We're your parents. Me. Are you? The dots stopped. Mom called twice. I didn't answer. I watched the calls come through. Watched them go to voicemail. The same way they'd watched the hospital calls. At 11:45 a.m., Miguel pulled up in his Toyota Camry. 4.9 stars. You okay? He asked as I got in. Yes, I said. And for the first time in 7 days, maybe the first time in my life, I wasn't lying. May 22nd. Home. I sat at my kitchen table and downloaded 9 years of bank statements. The Montgomery Family Education Fund. August 15th, 2016. First deposit, $732. I was 16 years old. My first paycheck from Riverside Diner. The memo line said, "For our future, L." I remembered typing that, believing it. I scrolled through, every month. Sometimes twice a month when I picked up extra shifts. September 2016, $845. October 2016, $920. December 2022, $2,100. My holiday bonus, April 2025, $1,850. My most recent deposit. I built a spreadsheet. Every deposit I'd ever made. Total, $127,680. 9 years. From age 16 to 25. Every dollar I could spare. For our future. Then I looked at the withdrawals. March 2023. $8,500. Memo. Elite Pitching Academy, Spring Session. June 2021. $12,000. Memo. Pacific Northwest Travel Team Annual. September 2023. $3,800. Memo. Perfect Game Showcase. Orlando. I went through every single one. Coach Tim Vandenberg. Elite Pitching Academy. 2019 to 2024. $63,000. Pacific Northwest Travel Team. Dues, equipment, uniforms. 2018 to 2025. $38,200. Showcase tournaments. Perfect game events. Travel expenses. $18,300. Total withdrawn. $119,500. Every single withdrawal had a memo line. Every single one mentioned Brandon. Or baseball. 0 for Lori. There was $8,180 left in the account. Out of the $127,680 I'd contributed. I texted Mom, "What happened to my college fund?" 3 hours and 14 minutes later, she replied, "We invested it in family priorities, sweetie. Brandon's future is our future. You understand?" I stared at that heart emoji. Then I screenshot it. Receipt number 17, May 23rd. I logged into the family desktop computer remotely. I still had access from when I lived at home. I went to the Documents folder, searched, Brandon College Essay. There it was. Brandon_Common App _essay final v8.docx, saved March 8, 2025. I opened it. As an only child, I learned the value of self-discipline and personal responsibility. Without siblings to rely on, I became my own toughest competitor and my own greatest motivator. This independence has shaped my approach to baseball and to life. I read it 3 times, looking for the part where he mentioned me, the part where he remembered he had a sister. It never came. At the bottom, reviewed by Elite College Prep Services. They'd hired a consultant, $12,000. Mom's track changes were all through the document, comments in the margins. Next to the opening line, perfect, this shows exactly the kind of maturity scouts want to see. Great work, Brandon. She'd helped him write it. She'd read Only Child and didn't correct it. She'd erased me from his story the same way she'd erased me from the photo wall. I wasn't just invisible. I was deleted. I screenshot the entire document. Receipt number 24. That afternoon, I went through the family group chat. Montgomery fam. I scrolled back to April, May, 128 messages. Brandon's games, 86 messages. Brandon's stats, 23 messages. Brandon's recruitment, 11 messages. Family dinner plans, 5 messages. Other, 3 messages. Messages about Lori, 0. The last time anyone mentioned me was March 3rd. Lori got Teacher of the Month, 0 replies. 0 reactions. May 15th, 9:45 p.m. The night I coded twice. Dad. Brandon pitched a gem today, 8 strikeouts. Our boy is going places. Mom. So proud. That scout from Oregon State was impressed. Uncle Tom. Way to go, Brandon. Aunt Jennifer. Future MLB star. I scrolled back further. 6 months. 387 messages total. 3 mentioned me. 3. I screenshot every message from May 14th and 15th. Receipt number 28. May 24th, I opened the family Google Calendar, January to May 2025. Brandon's games, 67 entries, color-coded red, practices, tournaments, training sessions, recruitment visits, team dinners, equipment shopping. Mom's hair appointments, 5 entries, Dad's golf, 3 entries, their anniversary, June 12th, blue. Clyde's restaurant, 7 p.m., Brandon's dentist appointment, April 3rd, yellow, Dr. Morrison, 3:30. My birthday, March 23rd, no entry. They'd scheduled Brandon's dental cleaning, but not my birthday. I'd turned 25 2 months ago. They didn't call, didn't text. I told myself they forgot. But you can't forget something that was never on your calendar in the first place. May 26th. I was going through my parents' shared email. The password was still Brandon2008. I searched for emails to elitebaseballconsulting.com. June 18th, 2022. Subject: Investment Strategy for Brandon's Future. I clicked it open. Thanks for the breakdown. We're ready to go all in on Brandon. After reviewing his metrics and your projection model, we believe he has legitimate MLB potential, not just college. We want to invest everything necessary to maximize his development during these critical years. Lori is 21 now, very practical and independent. She's always been fine on her own. College degree, teaching job, self-sufficient. Brandon needs us. This is where our resources should go. Let's discuss a 3-year intensive training package and ROI timeline. Scott. I read it twice. Fine on her own. There it was, in writing. The phrase I'd heard my whole life. Every time I needed them at a school event? Every time I asked them to visit my apartment? Every birthday they missed. Lori's fine on her own. It wasn't an observation. It was a decision. They'd decided I didn't need them, so they could give everything to Brandon. I printed the email, receipt number 31. But I wasn't done digging. June 8th, 2025. I went back to my parents' house. They were out with Brandon. Some conditioning workout. I told myself I was just looking for my old stuffed rabbit. Mr. Hoppy, the one Grandma Helen gave me when I was 5. Mom said she'd moved my childhood things to the attic, so I went up. The attic was hot, dusty, filled with boxes labeled Christmas and camping gear and Brandon baby clothes. I found Mr. Hoppy in a plastic bin. But behind the Christmas tree stand, behind a stack of old National Geographics, there was an unmarked shoebox, covered in dust, my name on the lid, in Grandma Helen's handwriting. Blue ink, slight tremor. She'd had arthritis. My hands were shaking before I even opened it. Inside were birthday cards, 18 of them, all unopened. The first one was postmarked March 2007. I would have been 7. I opened it. My dearest Lori, happy 7th birthday. You're such a bright little star. I love you to the moon and back. Love, Grandma Helen. Inside was a check for $50, expired. I opened another. March 2016, my 16th birthday. My darling Lori, sweet 16, I'm so proud of the young woman you're becoming. Never forget how special you are. Love always, Grandma. Check for $200, expired. I went through all 18, ages 7 to 24, every single one unopened, every single one with a check inside. Total $2,680, all expired, all intercepted. Underneath the cards were letters, 23 of them, handwritten on Grandma's cream stationery. The header said, "From the desk of Helen Brennan, 1847 Ocean Crest Drive." The Beach House. I opened one dated summer 2015. Dearest Lori, the hydrangeas are blooming beautifully this year. Remember how you loved picking them when you visited? I miss our phone calls, sweetheart. Your mother says you're very busy with high school and don't have much time to talk. I understand. You're growing up, but know that I think of you every single day. The beach house feels empty without you. Love, Grandma Helen. Every letter was the same. Updates about her garden, her book club, her neighbors, questions about my life, expressions of love, and always some variation of, "I know you're busy," or "I understand you can't write back." Mom had been telling her I was too busy, for years, and Grandma believed it. She died believing I'd outgrown her, that I'd chosen my life over our relationship. When the truth was, I never knew she was reaching out. I found the last letter, dated March 14th, 2022. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely read it. My dearest Lori, I don't know why you stopped writing, sweetheart. Your mother says you're very focused on your teaching career and don't have time to visit or call. I understand. I truly do. You're building your life, and I'm so proud of you, even from afar. But I need you to know something. I'm getting older, and I've been thinking about the future. I'm leaving you the beach house. It was always meant to be yours, Lori. You're the one who loved the ocean, who collected shells and watched the sunset from the deck, who said, when you were 8 years old, that you wanted to live there forever. I hope you still love the ocean. I hope you still dream, and I hope someday you'll come back to visit. With all my love, Grandma Helen. The date: March 14th, 2022. Grandma Helen died on September 6th, 2022. 177 days later. 177 days I could have visited, could have called, could have held her hand. But my parents made sure I didn't know. They let her die thinking I'd abandoned her. I sat in that hot attic, holding Grandma's letter, and I cried for the first time since the hospital. Not for myself, for her. That night, I searched Oregon probate records. Case number 2-PB-05689. Estate of Helen Marie Brennan. Filed September 2022. Total assets: $1,237,000. Real property at 1847 Ocean Crest Drive, Cannon Beach, $890,000. Bank accounts and investments, $340,000. Jewelry and personal property, $7,000. Revocable living trust dated 2018. Primary beneficiary, Lori Ann Montgomery. Successor trustees, Scott and Diane Montgomery. I read that line 3 times. Primary beneficiary, Lori Ann Montgomery. Grandma left everything to me. And my parents, the trustees, never said a word. June 9th. I searched real estate records for 1847 Ocean Crest Drive. Sold, September 28th, 2022. 22 days after Grandma died. Sale price, $905,000. Buyers, Richard and Susan Chen, retired couple from Sacramento. Authorized signature, Scott Montgomery, successor trustee. They'd sold it in 3 weeks. Before her funeral, flowers had wilted. Before I even knew she'd left it to me. June 10th. I called my father. Dad, what happened to Grandma Helen's estate? I found some old documents. There was a pause. Estate expenses, Lori. You know how probate works. Lawyer fees, taxes, debts. There wasn't much left after everything was settled. How much is not much? Maybe 15, 20,000. We put it aside for family emergencies. Why are you asking about this now? 15 to 20,000. He was lying to my face. June 11th. I still had access to my parents' old bank accounts. I'd been joint on their savings account from age 18 to 22. I could still view the history. October 2022. Deposit, $905,000. Memo. Escrow, 1847 Ocean Crest. Deposit, $340,000. Memo. Estate distribution. October 15th, 2022. Withdrawal, $186,000. Memo. Elite Baseball Training Facility Deposit, November 2022 through May 2024. Various withdrawals totaling $135,000. Memos. Showcase Circuit. Equipment Upgrade. Brandon Development Fund. They didn't just hide the estate. They spent it. On Brandon's training. On their kitchen renovation. $78,000. On a family vacation to Maui. $15,000. On a new car. $52,000. Grandma left me $1.2 million because she loved me, and they stole it. Every penny. Then they lied to my face about it. June 3rd. I sat in my apartment surrounded by printouts and bank statements and Grandma's letters. And I made a decision. I could call them, scream, cry, demand answers. They'd gaslight me, tell me I was being dramatic, that I was ungrateful, that I was misunderstanding. They'd done it before. This time I needed witnesses. I needed people they respected, people they wanted to impress. I needed them to see the truth when they couldn't run from it. I opened my calendar. Brandon's 17th birthday party. July 19th, Riverfront Park Pavilion. Mom had mentioned it in passing. Over 150 guests. College recruiters will be there. Perfect. June 8th. I sat across from attorney Natalie Brooks in her office downtown. I'd brought everything, all 51 pages. She went through it methodically. Bank statements, emails, probate records, medical records. When she finished, she looked up at me. This is one of the clearest cases of breach of fiduciary duty I've seen. As successor trustees, they had a legal obligation to notify you as beneficiary and distribute assets according to the trust. Instead, they concealed your interest and converted trust assets for their own benefit. How much are we talking? Conservatively, $460,000 to $550,000 in recoverable assets, plus potential punitive damages for the concealment. When can we file? She looked at me carefully. When do you want to file? July 20th, I said, the day after Brandon's birthday party. She didn't ask why, she just nodded. Make sure you document everything at that party, she said. Witnesses matter. I told her. Documentation was exactly what I planned to provide. June 12th. I started writing the letter. Dear Brandon, this is the birthday gift I wanted to give you in person, but I can't stand in front of them anymore, so I'm giving you the truth instead. I wrote 8 drafts. The first one was too angry. The fourth was too soft. The 8th was perfect. 847 words. 3 minutes and 40 seconds when read at normal pace. Long enough to destroy them. Short enough that people wouldn't stop listening. I read it aloud 17 times. Timing it. making sure every word landed. On June 15th, I printed it on cream linen paper. Professional quality. Sealed it in a matching envelope. June 20th. My phone buzzed. Mom. Lori, big news! We're throwing Brandon an amazing 17th birthday party July 19th at Riverfront Park Pavilion. Over 150 guests. College recruiters will be there. He'd be so happy if you came. Can you make it? I waited 5 hours before replying. I'll send something special for him. Mom. Oh, wonderful. He'll be thrilled. Do you need the address? I'll have it delivered. Don't worry, it'll be perfect. June 22nd. I sent the official RSVP card. Checkbox marked. Unable to attend. Sending gift. Mom called twice. I didn't answer. Her final text. Disappointed you can't come, sweetie, but Brandon will love whatever you send. She thought I was sending a gift. She was right. Just not the kind she was expecting. The kind you can't return. The kind that doesn't come with a receipt. It comes with 51 pages of them. July 19th, 2025. I wasn't there, but Principal Hartley was. I'd told her what I was planning. She tried to talk me out of it. Then she said, "If you're sure, I'll be there. You deserve someone in your corner." She wore a navy blue dress. Later, she told me she chose it deliberately. The color of truth. The party started at 2 p.m., Riverfront Park Pavilion, $800 for 4 hours. Blue and white balloon arch, custom banner, Happy 17th Brandon, future star. 3-tier cake from Sweetwater Bakery. Baseball design in fondant, $385. Catering for 175 people. Hired MC. Professional photographer. Sound system. 156 guests. Extended family. Teammates. Coaches. 5 college recruiters. Oregon State. University of Portland. Gonzaga. Seattle University. Lewis and Clark. 2 area scouts observing informally. School staff. Brandon's friends. His girlfriend Emily and her family. My parents' co-workers. Church friends. Neighbors. Mike Stevens from the Oregonian, covering the hometown hero. Everyone who mattered to my parents was there. Everyone except me. But I was about to make my presence felt. At 2:45 p.m., a courier van pulled up. The driver walked in with a package. Cream gift box tied with a navy ribbon. Package for Brandon Montgomery. Signature, please. Mom beamed. Oh, how lovely. From Lori. She signed for it. Placed it on the gift table among 47 other wrapped presents. Look, she showed Dad. Lori sent something. Dad nodded. Nice of her. They had no idea. That box contained more than a letter. It contained the end of everything they'd built. At 3:15 p.m., the MC called everyone to gather. All right, everyone, let's gather around for the birthday cake. Brandon, come on up here, birthday boy. 156 people formed a semicircle. Brandon stood at the table, Mom and Dad flanking him. Proud smiles. The photographer positioned herself. Before we cut this amazing cake, the MC said, I understand Brandon's sister Lori sent something very special even though she couldn't be here. Brandon, why don't you open her gift first? Brandon opened the box, pulled out the cream envelope, started reading. His face went white. His hands started shaking. Emily touched his arm. Brandon, what's wrong? He didn't answer, he just kept reading. The MC smiled. Oh, I bet this is one of those touching sister letters. Let me read it for everyone. I'm sure Lori won't mind. He took the letter from Brandon's shaking hands, started reading aloud. Dear Brandon, this is the birthday gift I wanted to give you in person, but I can't stand in front of them anymore, so I'm giving you the truth instead. The MC's smile faltered slightly. He continued. 3 months ago, on May 14th, I collapsed at a school potluck. Severe allergic reaction. I lost my pulse in the ambulance. The ER called Mom and Dad at 1:43 p.m. The doctor told them I might not make it through the night. The crowd went quiet. They never came. You could hear people's breathing. Instead, they left me a voicemail. Brandon's game is at 4. We'll come tomorrow if you're still there. Audible gasps. Someone said, "Oh my God." Mom stepped forward. "Dave, maybe we should—" Brandon's voice cut through. Quiet but firm. "No, keep reading." The MC hesitated, looked at Mom, looked at Dad, looked at Brandon. Brandon nodded, and the MC continued. "I spent 7 days in the ICU, alone, while they posted on Instagram about your strikeouts. While I was coding for the second time, Dad was sending fire emojis in the family group chat." Dead silence. "I found Grandma Helen's letters, all 18 of them, birthday cards from age 7 to 24, hidden in the attic, unopened." Grandma Patricia, Dad's mother, stood up, her hand over her mouth. "Grandma left me her beach house, $890,000. She left me $340,000 in cash. She left me everything because she loved me." The MC's voice was shaking now. "Mom and Dad sold it 22 days after she died. They used the money for your elite training. Then they told me there was nothing left." Uncle Tom, Dad's brother, stepped forward. "Scott, what the hell?" "The college fund I built from age 16 to $127,680 of my own money. They spent $119,500 of it on your coaches and travel teams." Emily was crying. "Your college essay says you're an only child. Mom and Dad helped you write that. They reviewed it, approved it, sent it to colleges." Complete silence. Everyone staring at Mom and Dad. The MC read the final paragraph. His voice was barely above a whisper. "You called me an only child. Maybe you're right, because I'm done being invisible. I'm done being erased from family photos and calendars and memories. I'm done being fine on my own, while you invest everything in someone else." He paused. "The process server is at the entrance. My lawyer will explain the rest. I love you, Brandon. I hope someday you'll understand. Lori." 11 seconds of complete silence. Principal Hartley timed it. Then a man stepped forward from the crowd. "Scott and Diane Montgomery?" Dad didn't move. "You've been served." He handed them a stack of papers. Legal complaint, 47 pages. Mom tried to grab the documents, they scattered. Dad just stood there, frozen, pale, couldn't speak. Brandon sat down heavily, head in his hands, and then, chaos. Grandma Patricia's voice cut through everything, shaking with rage. "You hid Helen's letters from your own daughter? She died thinking Lori didn't love her. Uncle Tom, you let her die alone for a baseball game? A game?" The Oregon State recruiter leaned over to the team coach, whispered something. They started walking toward the exit. The reporter had his phone out, filming. Aunt Jennifer to Mom. "How could you? Helen was my mother too. She loved that girl." Emily to Brandon, crying, "Did you know? Did you know about any of this?" Brandon, hollow. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." People were leaving. The University of Portland scout. Gone. Gonzaga. Gone. Families looking around, uncomfortable, gathering their things. Within 6 minutes, 51 people had left. The photographer stopped taking pictures. The cake sat there, uncut, gifts unopened. At 3:35 p.m., my phone rang. Principal Hartley. She was crying. "Lori," she said, "it's done. Everyone knows, everyone." The next day, Oregon State sent an email. Subject: reconsideration of recruitment. After careful consideration of recent circumstances and character evaluation concerns, we've decided to withdraw our recruitment interest at this time. My parents called 43 times over the next week. I blocked them all. July 21st, 7:14 a.m. Dad left a voicemail. "Lori, this is your father. How could you do this to us in front of everyone? You've destroyed this family, everything we've built, Brandon's future, our reputation, everything. Over what? Some letters? Some money? You've always been selfish, but this. Call me back. We need to talk about this. I listened to it once, saved it as evidence, never called back. July 22nd. The Oregonian ran a story. Family trust lawsuit disrupts local baseball star's birthday celebration. 38,000 views the first day. 127,000 by the end of the week. My parents hired a lawyer, Douglas Werner, $450 an hour. They sent a cease and desist letter, threatening defamation. Attorney Brooks responded with 2 sentences. My client stands by every statement. We welcome discovery. July 28th. My phone rang from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Lori, it's Grandma Patricia. I held my breath. I don't blame you if you don't want to talk to me. I'm Scott's mother, and I failed you. I should have seen it. I should have asked why you stopped coming to family dinners, why you were never in the photos anymore. I believed them when they said you were just busy building your career. Her voice broke. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. And Lori, Helen was my best friend. For 40 years. If I'd known they hid her letters, I would have stopped it. I would have made sure you knew she loved you. We talked for 45 minutes. Before we hung up, she said something I'll never forget. Helen would be so proud of you, not for the lawsuit, but for refusing to disappear. You found your voice, sweetheart. Don't ever lose it again. August 15th. Mediation, downtown Portland. Neutral mediator. My parents' lawyer pushed hard for settlement. They wanted this to go away before discovery, before their emails and texts became court record. Full repayment, Attorney Brooks said. $467,000 total. Your contributions plus Grandma's cash portion plus interest. Lump sum, due September 15th. I didn't want their money, but Attorney Brooks leaned in. Taking it will hurt them more than any trial. They'll have to liquidate. Sell the house, downsize their lives. They'll feel what you felt, losing something that mattered. I signed the settlement on August 15th. September 14th. The wire transfer came through. $467,000. September 22nd. The family home sold. 2,847 Maple Grove Drive. They'd bought it in 2001 for $385,000. It was worth $720,000. Listed at $715,000. Motivated sellers. Sold for $695,000. Rushed sale. Below value. They moved to a 2-bedroom apartment in Beaverton. Rent. $2,400 a month. Mom texted me the new address. I deleted it without reading. October through December. I heard things, through Principal Hartley, through Aunt Jennifer. Brandon quit the Northwest Showcase League. October 12th. Email to his coach. I need to figure out who I am without baseball. November 1st. He started therapy. Dr. Ellen Morris. November 8th. He got a job. Eastside Sports. Part-time sales. $16 an hour. He was living with Grandma Patricia. Hadn't spoken to our parents in 4 months. Principal Hartley texted me on November 3rd. Brandon came by school today. Asked about volunteer opportunities with the elementary kids. I asked him why. He said, I spent my whole life being told I was special because I could throw a ball. I want to find out if I'm special for any other reason. Lori, he looks different. Lighter. I didn't reach out. Part of me wanted to, but I also knew he needed to figure this out himself the same way I had, alone. December 18th. 8:47 p.m. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Lori, I know you don't owe me anything. I know I don't deserve your time. But can we talk? I need to tell you something. I need to say things I should have said months ago. B. I stared at that text for 23 minutes. What could he possibly say? What words could fix 18 hidden birthday cards? What apology could bring back Grandma Helen? But a small part of me, the part that remembered him at age 8, before baseball consumed everything, that part wanted to hear him try. At 9:10 p.m., I typed back. Café Soleil. Saturday 10 a.m. Come alone. I didn't sleep that night. January 11th, 2026. Café Soleil. 23rd and Burnside. I got there at 9:50 a.m., ordered coffee, sat at a table by the window. At 10:04 he walked in. He looked different, thinner, older somehow. He sat down across from me. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he slid an envelope across the table. I gave it all back. The recruitment money. Oregon State sent a check for $8,500, the summer camp deposit. Portland sent back $6,200. I returned all the equipment I could get refunds on. I opened the envelope. Receipts, totaling $18,500. Why? Because I don't want anything they bought with your life. His voice cracked. I'm working at Eastside. $16 an hour. It'll take me years to pay you back. But I'm going to do it. Every dollar. I felt tears on my face. The first time I'd cried in front of him since we were children. You were just a kid, I said. So were you. And they made you raise yourself. He looked down at his hands. I'm sorry, Lori. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. I'm sorry I believed I was special. I'm sorry I let them make you invisible while they made me into whatever this was. We sat there for an hour and 17 minutes, talking, really talking, for the first time maybe ever. Before I left, he asked, Do you think you'll ever forgive them? I told him the truth. I don't know, but I've forgiven myself for believing I had to earn love by disappearing. He nodded. Teach me how to do that. February 14th, 2026. Providence Medical Group. I was filling out forms. The receptionist looked up. You're updating your emergency contacts and advance directive? Yes, complete update. Primary contact? Angela Hartley. She typed. Relationship? I smiled. Chosen family. She looked at the old form, saw my parents' names crossed out. She looked at me, not with pity, with something like recognition. Good for you, she said. I asked what she meant. Sometimes the family you choose is the only family that matters. February 23rd, 2026. 4:47 p.m. I drove to Cannon Beach. 1847 Ocean Crest Drive. Grandma's house. The new owners weren't home, but the beach access is public. I walked down to the water, Haystack Rock visible in the distance. I'd brought 18 white roses, one for each hidden birthday card. I scattered the petals into the waves. I found your letters, Grandma, I said aloud. I'm so sorry I never got to write back. I'm so sorry I wasn't there when you died. They hid them from me. But I'm here now, and I'm not invisible anymore. I promise you, I'll never be invisible again. The roses floated out with the tide. I sat on the beach watching the sunset. My phone buzzed. Brandon. Thank you for meeting me last month. I'm applying to community college. Education major. I want to teach elementary school, like you. Would you help me with my essay? I looked at the ocean, thought about it, finally typed back. Send me a draft. And Brandon, write about who you really are, not who they wanted you to be. Brandon. I'm trying to figure that out. But I know one thing. I don't want to be like them. Me. Then you're already halfway there. I put my phone away. Watched the sun sink into the Pacific. The same ocean Grandma loved. The same beach where I'd been happy as a child. Before I learned what it meant to be invisible. People ask me if I'll ever forgive my parents. I don't know. Maybe someday. Maybe never. But I know I've forgiven myself. For believing I had to disappear to deserve love. For thinking fine on your own was a compliment instead of abandonment. For spending 25 years trying to earn something that should have been given freely. Family isn't who shares your blood. It's who shows up when you're dying. It's who remembers your birthday without a calendar reminder. It's who keeps your letters instead of hiding them. My parents taught me what family isn't. Grandma Helen taught me what it could be. And now I'm building it myself. A family that sees me, values me, shows up. Principal Hartley, Sarah Davis from work, Grandma Patricia, and maybe slowly, Brandon. People who chose to love me, and I chose them back. That's the family that matters. That's the family that lasts. I'm not invisible anymore. I'm not erased. I'm not fine on my own. I'm surrounded by people who chose to love me, and I'm finally free.